My girlfriend, 24 female, blames me, 22 male, for not stopping her going home with another guy. I want to break up. What do I do? Original post. My girlfriend of 4 years and some friends went nightclubbing a couple of days ago. It wasn't a heavy night, but she did get quite drunk. About halfway through the night, she came up to me outside after disappearing off for a while, holding hands with an older man, and stated she was going to the toilet with him. They both came back about 5 minutes later, but she ignored all my attempts to get her to come with me. They both had their phones out like they were exchanging numbers, and she just completely refused to come home with me. When I finally got her attention, I told her to go away and I went home alone. I checked her location when I got home and saw she was at someone else's house in a totally different part of town, nowhere that she or I know anyone. I found out the following day that it was the same guy's house, but she said she left immediately and that nothing happened between them, whilst also saying she doesn't remember most of the night. She profusely apologized at first and was crying on the phone to me about the fact that she can't lose me. But we met up for coffee the next day, and she said that I should have forced her to come with me and that I'm to blame for compromising our relationship by letting it happen. I now feel like I've done wrong and I should have stopped her. Edit, she also threatened to end herself. Is this something I should tell her parents about, or is that not my place? The first sign to dump her was when she appeared holding some guy's hand after disappearing for a while, then went off to the toilets with him alone. She cheated God knows how many times in one night. If she's that upfront and cold about it, it's 10,000% not the first time either. Wait a minute, they've been together 4 years, and if this isn't normal behavior for when she gets drunk, then maybe the guy spiked her drink. It would seem odd that she does this once with no prior red flags, or at least none the OP has mentioned. If this behavior is out of character for her, then mixed with her not remembering much, there may be another reason it happened, and I would be saying this if the genders were reversed. Spiked drinks don't make you go up to your own boyfriend and tell him you're going to the bathroom with a man you're holding hands with. Also, she didn't want to go with her boyfriend of 4 years, but she was willing to leave with a complete stranger. Now she's blaming him for her bad decisions? Nope, she cheated and knew exactly what she was doing. Now, the threatening to end herself sob story is only to guilt him not to kick her trifling behind to the curb. Exactly, it sounds like she wanted to make him jealous and got mad when he didn't turn into a toxic Hulk and start a fight over her. Block, ignore, move on. If you had forced her, there would be drama of a different kind she would now be blaming you for. She is irresponsible, untrustworthy, and manipulative. Do you want to further enable these things by giving her another chance? Ah yes, the sweet song of a narcissist. Either way, it's your fault. If you would have stopped her, she would have just said that you are abusive and controlling, so much so she can't even just have friends, and will bang the guy out of spite. Ghost out as fast as you can, while covering all your bases of not getting screwed over. Record any and all conversations with her after the fact. I've unfortunately had run-ins with these creatures. There's no salvaging this, cut your losses and run before she really decides to mess with you. I'll be honest, there's absolutely no way I'd let my drunk partner leave with a stranger. Under no circumstances would I let that happen. If something bad happened, I'd never be able to live with myself. That being said, when the booze has worn off and the sun has risen, she'd be my ex for trying. Now for the update. I went to speak to her yesterday, and she has said she is willing to change and get therapy and fight for our relationship. I said the line must be drawn somewhere and broke it off. I have spoken to her mom today and told her about the self-harm threats she made, which she was horrified to hear. Both her and my girlfriend are adamant that she was not unfaithful to me, and part of me does believe that. However, I also never believed that she would come up to me holding another man's hand. Either way, it sounded like her and her mom blamed me for breaking it off, but I felt like I had no other choice. I did not want to, but I felt like I had to, for my own sake. There is the argument that no matter what, I should have stopped her from going home with that man, because who knows what could have happened. But I also know I tried my best in the situation to get her to come home, and I was of the opinion that she had decided to cheat on me, and I wasn't going to stop that. I haven't always been the perfect boyfriend, and perhaps I haven't been there for her at times when she did need me. But I know I have never, and would never, do what she did. I think I need to give myself permission to say enough is enough. No matter how much you love someone, if it's sacrificing your own mental health as it has been for me recently, then it is time to call it a day. I feel heartbroken and have been filled with guilt and regret. I'll be okay, right? If you have to stop your partner from cheating on you, end the relationship then and there. 100%. A relationship does not involve the responsibility to stop your partner from being an a-hole. That responsibility always lies with themselves. Yeah, what's he going to do to stop her, physically? And then he gets arrested for assault because a drunk woman is not polite if she thinks she's right. Nope. He tried to get her to go home with him. She chose not to. Case closed. She needs to take accountability for putting herself in that situation. It's for the best. She definitely cheated. Take away what you can mentally and move on. Like, who even cares if she cheated? The way she handled the disagreement was enough for me. Yeah, the infidelity is just icing on the cream pie, which she most certainly did. Yet somehow OP is to blame here according to her and her flying monkey of a mother? Get out of here with that noise. OP, you dodged a major bullet here. Maybe she'll learn her actions have consequences. You definitely did the right thing. It might take a minute, but you'll eventually be damn proud for standing up for yourself and not allowing yourself to be treated like that. She won't, they never do. Update. My 36 male wife, 34 female, want to continue hanging out with the people she hooked up with while we were married. Original post. First, we were both raised in a strict religious environment. She came out to me while we were dating, and I didn't think much of it. I reject the things I was taught as a kid. Her family still does not know she is bi. That being said, she never really had the opportunity to explore her sexuality before we got married. I'm a monogamous person, and I have no interest in being with other people. But she wanted to explore her sexuality, and I told her that I would be okay with it as long as it was with women, and as long as she was being safe. She never took that step with anyone, and years went by with us living a monogamous hetero life. We moved to a more liberal area, made a great group of friends, and life was good. Until about 18 months ago when we had a party at our house. I walked in on her, one of our female friends we'll call Kat, in our spare bedroom, while our daughter was asleep down the hall. I was chatting up with our friends in the living room, and at some point I was like, "Where is my wife?" Checked the kitchen, not there. See the closed door, opened it, and there they were. I felt a pretty deep sense of betrayal at that moment, and we had lots of conversations about that in the weeks and months that followed. She was like, "You said you were okay with my exploring my sexuality." And you know, I did say that. She also said that I had said she needed to be safe, and that the behavior they were engaged in has like a 0% chance of transmitting diseases. And that is also true, so I add some more stipulations to this. Like not with our friends, not in our home, not in a place where our kid could walk in. Fast forward to a year ago, and she comes home from a trip to visit some of our friends from where we used to live. She tells me that she hooked up with this girl we'll call Jess, we both knew, while she was out there. I was quite upset about this, but she was like, "You two don't talk so you aren't friends." I told her that is not the point, that we know each other, and she should have talked to me first. Now my wife wants to go on a trip for her graduation, and she invited both of these people on the trip. I have expressed how uncomfortable I am with this, and she doesn't seem to care. She thinks it is unreasonable for her to end her friendships with these people. She has been super happy packing for the trip, planning where they are going, and where they are going to eat. Every time I see the suitcase, I get a little sick to my stomach. No one in our group knows what she did, but I have avoided hanging out when Kat is around. What is the best way to approach this situation? If you are only interested in having a monogamous relationship, I don't see this ending in any other way but divorce. I would consult a divorce attorney for your options and keep this as friendly as possible for the sake of your child. Yeah, this definitely doesn't seem like a good fit for OP. He's not handling it well. To be fair to OP, it doesn't sound like they have any guidelines to protecting their relationship. Couples that do have successful open relationships have guidelines that protect them from having emotional affairs on each other. When OP said he didn't care about the physical, he hadn't considered that his wife would be doing these things behind his back or with people he knows. Her lack of talking with him about her plans shows her lack of concern for his feelings at all. I personally felt like she stuck to the guidelines, and he started adding rules. In this scenario, I would much prefer my wife hooking up with a friend at my house over hooking up in a strange place with a strange person. OP wasn't okay with any of it when it got real. I just don't think this is a good fit. He's going to keep being upset by it no matter how she goes about it. Just tell her he can't handle it, and either it has to stop or their relationship will have to end. You need to either set boundaries and rules and stick to them, or tell her you're not okay with any of this and it's close to marriage ending. If she's not good with it, you need to end the marriage. He keeps moving the goalposts. He's not polyamorous. He has no idea what kind of boundaries and rules to set because he doesn't know what the wife is thinking of doing. If she had any ounce of respect for him, she would have asked questions and educated both of them on the matter after the first incident. She doesn't get to cheat and then use the excuse of, "You're not being specific." He's already made a compromise. And what is she doing? Only gaslighting and doing whatever she wants without any regard of his feelings. Obviously, there is a flaw in their arrangement, and she's not making any efforts on making it better. Just invalidating feelings left and right. Update. So, first, thanks for commenting on the original post. I appreciated the input and perspectives. I was a bit overwhelmed at the time, and I did not respond to any of you. Apologies for that. It seemed like the majority of people were of the opinion that I was not clear in what I needed from her, and I think that is fair. Truthfully, I didn't know I would need to say, "Don't sleep with people our daughter refers to as aunt." I suppose I should have gotten a bit more into the details, since we clearly had different expectations of how this was going to play out, but hindsight is 20/20. I will keep this short and sweet. No surprise endings here for most of you who saw more clearly than I. She was in fact planning the trip with those people to have more hookups with more people behind my back. I spent the last few months documenting everything, getting finances in order, and taking special note of the times when she was either neglecting or otherwise exposing my child to danger, or anything that could be viewed negatively. It isn't pretty, but I will likely get custody of my child since she is not contesting it. I never gave her access to my savings account, our shared credit card has been canceled, and I really don't care what happens to our house as long as I can walk with my child. I understand she may be entitled to some money or whatever, but money counts for nothing against the well-being of my kid. She has moved out, has not seen our child in a few weeks, and is determined to find herself or some crap. She is currently living in an apartment with some random people, exploring her sexuality, and also using loads of drugs it sounds like. I am fortunate to be able to work from home for now, so I have been enjoying lazy mornings with my child, lunchtime, and a surprising amount of free time. I did not realize how much of my bandwidth was being occupied by my soon-to-be ex-wife's noise. In general, I feel okay. When I am lonely after my child goes to sleep, I have been working out or rebuilding the many relationships I have neglected since she occupied so much of my time. I am going to give myself a year or so to adjust and let the dust settle, then see if it feels worth it to try dating again. I'm sorry to hear that this happened, but clearly she wasn't the person who you thought she was. It's BS when people use their sexual orientation to excuse stepping out in the relationship, or worse, neglecting their children to explore. If it means anything to you, I suspect this would have been the conclusion, whether or not you agreed to her relationships with women. So don't blame yourself. Take all that energy to providing a wonderful home for your child. I would also be considering counseling, because your relationship was traumatic, and you'll not want to make the same mistake again. Thanks for your kind words. I have some meetings with therapists next week. Hopefully one will be a good fit. Sorry it went this way. Some women are just evil, mate. Harsh lesson to learn. What are you going to do if she comes back after finding herself? Nothing. This chapter is closed, my evil dude. Be prepared. When she have spent all her money and reality begin to hit her, she is going to try to use all the tricks in the book to manipulate you to take her back. Just push as hard as you can to solve all the divorce and custody issues ASAP while she is in the fog. I'll never understand how someone can wake up and decide to do this. Sorry to hear that, man. After divorce, do co-parenting and only speak in regards of the child and nothing more. She will try and come back once she's done exploring. Don't become that pushover when that time comes, because trust me, it will happen in a few months or years. Be prepared. Don't be the doormat to the unfaithful, and don't look sad. Fake it till you make it is best revenge. Only then will she truly understand what she lost.